We haven't started a group. No, we have not. But we are solidly, glued together already. I am not going down as just one slice of the mozzarella. I am just, I have my brothers in arms. We are already entirely united. And third thing, which will be the isolation. That is, you are not going to deal with me here in Korea as an isolated priest. I'm going to call one of these priests to come and say Mass here in Korea, to show you the point. That you are not isolated. You are not isolated with the Catholic Church, whoever was before you in the course of time, but even as of today, you are not isolated from other very good Catholic priests. So I will call, another priest, Father Joe Pfeiffer, Father Valenraj Kumar, and whoever else joins us, and I will call, the bishops. Whenever the bishops are ready, they will come again here. I will call them to take care of this chapel one Sunday, so that your eyes may see that we are not dealing with isolation. And no doctrinal erosion. We are not going to change our doctrine. We will not back down from our doctrine. And we are not going to be bitter. That is, we are going to be charitable. So we are not going to become sedevacantists. Not only we are not going to be bitter with the priests who have not joined us, who are still in the official Society of St. Pius X, but we are going to remain St. Pius X. So Father Fortin, Father Honda, Father Couture, Bishop Fellet, all of these are still my beloved confreres. They don't like me, well, that's their problem. But I still love them all, with no exception. It's they who attack, I am taking their blows, and I return thanks to them. Because our weapon is not simply the truth, our weapon is the virtue of charity. They are the ones, I leave it to them to strike me down and to crucify me if they wish, but I leave it to them, I will not touch them. I disagree with them most openly, but I do not touch them. I still love them. I want to work with them in the future. And so there will be no infighting among ourselves, among this group of priests. And we will not, and lastly, we will not abandon our faithful. The mission of the society is a mission of rescuing of souls away from the Novus Ordo. That mission still goes on. And you will be provided with sacraments. As far as Korea is concerned, you will be provided with more sacraments than before. Because, if I am thrown out from OLBC, I got no other place to stay than the flat here in Seoul. That's a place where I know I can stay. The other places, I don't know yet. Most probably the Filipinos will host me. But the first place that I know I have is this place. And that's why I elected it as my residence. So most likely you will have not less, but more sacraments. And since I am put in charge by the circumstances, you will have Blessed Sacrament on a permanent basis here. And also, I'm in favor of binating and trinating on Sunday. That is, by this means, I'll be able to say the Mass in Japan in the afternoon or in the Philippines in the afternoon. So you will have the Mass on a more regular basis. And so you will not be abandoned, but you will most probably get more. I hope so. And I am not leaving Asia. Just as I am not leaving the SSPX, I remain an SSPX priest. We keep our SSPX website here in Korea. All these, our letterhead SSPX, all the markings on our laundry will be SSPX. Everything will be SSPX. So just I am not leaving the SSPX, I am not leaving my geographical implantation. I am not severing the tie between me and you. Because it's from this place that they try to throw me out. They try. So I am staying in Asia. And, I would love to take my vacations in America. But, the only thing that prevents me to go there is not Father Rostand, but it is you. until I find a priest to replace me, to take care of you while I'm taking my vacations in the United States, I cannot go to the United States. Why? Because my responsibility is to you. But you know, I hope that by the summer I will have a priest enabling me to go and take my vacations, because I've got friends elsewhere as well. So, you know, these 7 problems, you know, if you make us, once we are thrown out, you know, we have these 7 problems: discouragement, the slicing, the isolation, the doctrinal erosion, the bitter zeal, the vacantist trail, infightings, and the abandoning of the faithful. I don't want to have anything to do with these 7 things. It's excluded to me. So the simplest thing, my dear faithful, is simply to remain what we are. Just like St. Ignatius tells us, when in desolation, you don't change the course of action. So when there is a crisis of trouble, don't change. So I am Father of François Chazal, Society of St. Pius X, and this I remain. So it would be a catastrophe to start a Society of St. John, St. Peter, an institute of something. You know, it would be a catastrophe, because it would be the proof that we are changing. All those contraptions fighting society were founded because they were a departure from the doctrine and the stance of Archbishop Lefebvre and his conditions of victory. But I am not changing. So my name and my stance, everything remains the same. I urge all the other priests who are doing the same public stand as I am doing to do the same. And so just like in the Christ of the Church, the society is not departing from the Catholic Church. They say you put yourself outside of the Catholic Church. We deny it. We never left the Catholic Church. So then they will tell you, you are leaving the Society of St. Pius X. No, this is precisely what I deny. So you have the same, because you have the Vatican II in the SSPX, then you got the same accusation. You are not a priest of the SSPX anymore. And I deny it thoroughly. I'm not coming up with any other name of organization or anything. Not only that, but now we call the soft side of the SSPX. We should call it by what it is. It is the reconciliar SSPX. It's an SSPX that wants to reconcile. And it has an official staff that wants to lead that SSPX astray. So there is the official reconciliar SSPX. Just you have right now the official church, conciliar church, headed by Pope Benedict XVI. Do you understand? I am not changing my name, I am changing their name. They have a new name. It's not I who is changing. They may call me an unchangist, a dreamer or whatever. You can call me names if they wish, but my name stays the same. So we have to make something exist to gather the priestly crumbs that are going to continue to fall in the month of June and July. And if things go wrong, things won't go wrong. And something which is called something which is not too heavy, not bureaucratized, but with a minimal organization to start. And that starts with an authority. It's the appointing of a leader of priests. So when we hit some point of no return, we have to appoint a leader. So those priests will meet together, and then they will vote their own superior, a superior, for a short-term mandate. After that, a longer mandate, and after that, the formation of a chain of command within us, and a chapter, a mini-chapter, that will elect constitutionally, following the constitution of the Society of St. Pius X and nothing else, that will elect, the SSPX Superior General. So that structure will be flexible. It must admit that, it must be flexible, that is capable to admit those priests who are taking their time to rejoin us. The assets, what the difference will be with the official SSPX, that the assets will remain in the hands of the lay folks. Because what we see now, what we fear, is the whole Titanic of the SSPX going down in one piece. Actually, the actual Titanic went down in several pieces, in 2 pieces. But we don't want the ship to go down in 1 piece. To prevent that, most of us, and but it's not yet finalized, think that the assets will remain in the hands of the local faithful. It's much safer. So if one of the priests or even the superior general of that of our group wants to compromise, then the rest of the ship stands. He just jumps off in the water, but the rest stands. As far as the property, but we don't really depend entirely on properties. We're just using this. But we need to provide with chapels and places of worship. I think the best way now is to leave all these assets in the hands of our faithful. And in God's time, you know, one of the bishops or the 3 bishops will openly, be with us. There is no doubt about it that it's going to happen. And but in the meantime, we are preparing a seminary. We are preparing a seminary, and we are going to start training immediately. To continue training immediately, seminarians who were thrown out for the wrong reasons and candidates for the seminary. Because we know the bishops are on our side. We would not do this work without bishops. If I was not certain that those 3 bishops are on the side of the truth, I will not do what I am doing today, my dear faithful. I will be mum. I will be entirely quiet. But we do have 3 bishops instead of 1, and that's our highest hope. Because the church is run not only by the Pope, but it's run by bishops. Without bishops, you can't do nothing. A priest is 0 without a bishop. So since I have the guarantee of bishops, I proceed, my dear faithful. And especially our goal is to something that can accommodate the anger of our enemies. That is, a band of brothers sticking together so that we can take all the attacks of our enemies, both from the official church and from the reconciliar SSPX. It's a band of brothers, we stick together, and I never enjoyed so much the friendship of Father Joseph Pfeiffer. Our friendship has been so strong and amazing to an amazing degree. And then when I grab the phone every day, I've got a new joy. I find another friend, another powerful, strong warrior of Christ. And so I've got so many joys on the friendship side. And I find brilliant, fighting faithful. And it's such an immense consolation for me. That's the point, my dear faithful, is to make such a powerful bond of charity among ourselves, that we are impregnable, and that they can't hurt us. And it's a stance of the faith. I repeat, it's the stance that we are making for the faith, and nothing else. Because placing ourselves under a Pope who fornicates from the faith is a compromising of the faith. So, as far as the virtue of faith is concerned, I simply restate what I stated. I am not withdrawing anything, I am not regretting anything. And it's a stance of hope, because hope is the virtue of the soldier. We are not fighting because we are upset. We are fighting because we believe the Society of St. Pius X is fixable. Compared to the course of destruction of Vatican II, we are only in the 50s. We are not in the 60s. We are in the 50s, where the situation is mixed and fixable. So 2012 is a year of opportunity for us to fix that reconciliational spell. It's our year of opportunity. If we let this year pass, that's why I said to many people, if we let 2012 pass, then of course the leadership of the Society of St. Pius X will be populated with compromisers. And then the society will be ripe for placing itself under Rome. It will fall like an apple by its own weight. There won't be any need of Menzingen to campaign. Right now, the Fluger is campaigning in southern France. It goes everywhere in southern France to evangelize for the reconciliation. And Bishop Fellet is making statements after statements every week, everywhere. He's using all his DG and all his networks but he won't need to do such a thing in 3 years' time. If I were the advisor of Bishop Fellet, I would tell him to wait, the situation is not ready. He's got 3 bishops and many faithful and many priests making a stand against it. It's 2012 is not the year for them. It's the year for us, my dear faithful. Their year is more 2015, I would believe. Because the situation is not ready for them to do the jump. And charity. It has, the whole crisis has to end as one same family. That's what I want. That is, I do not believe in the intrinsic malice of Bishop Philip. I don't call him a traitor. I believe he's under a spell, but I don't believe there is any intrinsic malice in him. Take the Lord of the Rings, is a bit like Denethor or Theoden. Kings, 2 kings under a spell. Good persons. With Denethor, it ends in tragedy, and that's not what I want. In the case of Theoden, you know, the spell is withdrawn from him by Gandalf. That's, I think, that Bishop Philip is a new Theoden. He's a good man. So the whole thing has to end as a family. So all the calumnies against me, saying Father Chazal is bitter, and no, it's not. I'm not bitter against Bishop Philip. I could have been deceived just the same. Because, like Don Bosco, I fear the serpent. You know, those ladies were saying, oh, Bosco, you know, you are so powerful against the devil. And Don Bosco says, oh, my lady, ooh, hold your horses. No, I fear him very much. Because he's smart. I don't believe I'm smarter than Bishop Philip. I could have made the same mistake. And the devil could have found my other weak point and used it. Probably my in-your-face Frenchness to make mistakes of a graver nature than the mistakes that Bishop Philip is doing currently. And the trick of the devil on Bishop Philip's side is that the devil has used Bishop Philip's goodness, his charity. Now I made a chart in the war thing, you know, with the main qualities of the 3 bishops. But maybe it was a mistake to exclude Bishop Philip from the chart. Because Bishop Philip has a great quality, because of which he was voted Superior General. It is his charity. His charity shines more originally than the other 3 bishops. He was voted in because we all thought that he would be very strong on doctrine, a strength on doctrine based on the virtue of charity. Because true anti-liberalism is based on the virtue of charity. So strong on principles and doctrine, but because of this charity, very soft, very gentle on people. Because the situation is so confused. We have been strong on principle and very soft on people, very soft. That's why I want you to have the Blessed Sacrament all the time. Because I want to be soft with you. The priest has to be a lion in preaching and a lion in confession. So we saw in 1994 that strength in doctrine and the softness of Bishop Philip towards the people. And the devil saw that. And he uses his goodness, Bishop Philip, in order to make Bishop Philip pity Benedict XVI and proposes help to him. And he's using the goodness of Bishop Philip to make Bishop Philip pity the church. Of course, we pity the church. But you can't pity the church rightly if you compromise the Society of St. Pius X. And you put the Society of St. Pius X in a state of split and in a state of danger. But I do understand the motivation of Bishop Philip to lead us in that stage. And secondly, we are not going to be the exploders of the Society of St. Pius X. That is, you know, I am not going to tell people don't go to our Victory Church because it's under control of Father Onoda. I will not say that. Don't go to Mass in Hong Kong because Father Fortin and the people in Hong Kong are, you know, kind of in favor of the agreement. I am not going to do that. I am not going to say to the American faithful, rebel against Father Rostand because Father Rostand is persecuting me. No! I tell the American faithful, you are still under Father Rostand. Father Rostand is my friend. We used to drink cider in the basement of the seminary together when we were seminarians. He is my old friend, and he remains so. He doesn't like me all that much right now, but, you know, we'll get over it. I told Father Rostand, I told him in Latin, You know, in era constitutus es, duobus post mensibus, concilium meliorem facimus. And I said, Deus te benedicat. And I said, Carissime Arnalde, my dear Arnaud, you are stuck into anger. After 2 months, we will make a better council among ourselves. We will have a talk without wrath. May God bless thee, Rostand. And I sign my name. So I'm not asking the American faithful to rebel against Father Rostand, but let them stand against this compromising and self-destruction in the Society of St. Patrick X. Yes. But let them not attack anyone personally. One person was thinking of calling Father Iscariot. That's wrong. There should be no abuse of any of those priests. Even though they believe in the compromise, they should be not abused. They are simply deceived. And in a complicated, intricate situation. We are not sedevacantist. We have no bitterness. Of course, we are going to be a big headache for them. But we are not going to be rid of them. And they are not going to be rid of us. Because we remain family. And thirdly, we have no plans of retaliation should outside win. Should outside win at the general chapter, I refuse punishments on those who disagree with me. They will not be punished. We are not Stalinists. And there is a way to deal with people who kind of mellow sometimes, and Alfred always has showed patience to them. He never threw anyone out. He says, "You want to leave, you leave the society if you wish," but he never threw out anyone. As I'm being thrown out and threatened and run after. No, we won't run after anybody. Should our position win? And prudence has to be exercised. So they are not the official society is not going to like us keeping the SSPX name. So there will be court cases, there will be attacks against us, so we have to be very wise. So for instance, if you put a court case against us and wants us to strike down the SSPX name, facing overwhelming force, then we may have to comply, alright? But then if you call me Father Chazal, who are you? I'm a priest of the SSPX. I will always answer that. And if then we will have, just like some German bishops don't want us to call ourselves Catholics. If by law you want me to remove the Catholic word there, I call myself Christian. If you don't want me to call myself Christian, I call myself human being trying to stay in a state of grace. So we'll have to use prudence. And then we will have to find a prudent leader. So prudence is not my forte, they say. Bishop Tissier says, Father Chazal est un imprudent. He is not prudent. Okay, prudence is not my forte, so I won't be the boss. Right? I will remain the clown. But put a prudent boss. We put a prudent boss to avoid making mistakes. Then the main act of our virtue of prudence in this case will be how do we deal with liberals? The problem of liberalism, it's affecting all of us in varying degrees. Therefore, there is no absolute need to call liberals names, liberals, implacable placateur, popularities. There is no need to call them names, but we need to do something about it. To heal liberalism is to correct their appetites, because the liberalism is the rebellion of the lower appetites. In the case of Bishop Fillet, it's the appetite of reconciliation, the desire of reconciliation takes over the intellect. So it's a rebellion of the lowest part, the appetites, the desires, the will, the heart, against the upper part, which is the intellect. Now this needs to be corrected. And then internal liberalism is, once the intellect is corrected, then the intellect gives the wrong orders to the will, to the heart. So it goes up and down. It's a disease, alright? So how you correct liberalism? Well, to correct the appetites, you need to use a medicine. That medicine is the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ. So that's why I have applied a certain degree of pain. It's true. And I made my enemies squeal. It's true. I don't deny it. Maybe the form is wrong at times, so I can apologize on the form at times. But I did make my enemies squeal, and squeal they did, my dear faithful. So is this war on sermon make them squeal enough, or what next made them squeal enough? I am not quite sure. So after this what next sermon, another installment is coming, War Won. Because that's how you bring out somebody from his spell, you know. For how you bring the reconciliation or spell, it's like an exorcism. And that the healing of the papacy will be the same, will be like an exorcism. That is, you fight, you bounce, you fight, until the candidates for exorcism comes out and realizes immediately that he was under a spell. It's the same. So that's why I am making my adversaries, my beloved adversaries, I am making them squeal. That's the main act of prudence that we are going to exercise. Okay, faith of church is very important, but prudence is a vital virtue for this stage of the fight. Now, I don't want to be the leader of this reformer, sspx, but as far as prudence is concerned, the main act of our prudence will be to make them squeal until they wake up from the la-la land of this predator structure. You know? And then we will have to use the virtue of justice. We have received justice, that you render what you have received. You know, to render each and everyone its due. Now we have received so much from the sspx. I received my priesthood, my training. I've received everything from the sspx. How on earth am I going to leave the sspx? It's out of the question. I am sspx until the rest of my life. So we are not going to set up a hostile organization. But what we want is to shift the sspx within itself. We're going to shift the sspx back to its fighting stance. And then we will be supporting any official sspx priest, any superior district, or any still remaining bishop in the official sspx. We will support them all the time. The other ones who compromise, well, we will expose them adroitly, forcibly, and relentlessly. And so, also we have given a lot to the sspx. I gave 24 years of my life, 11 assignments, all my time, my wealth, my obedience. You know, I was very, Father Nodar admits I was always obedient to him. And I've never said no to any assignments to Father Couture. He's been playing with me this last year like a joystick, giving me 4 different assignments in a, so he pushes a joystick on the left, and Chazal goes on the left, and then the joystick on the right, Chazal goes on the right. So I have no problem. I have no problem with that. But because it changed the stance of the faith, then things are changing, and then they want me out. So they are telling me that they are not my superiors anymore. So they need to choose. But in any case, we are staying what we are. So we are going to support the Society of St. Pius X. We're going to tell people not to leave this or that mass center, but keep their eyes open. So I'm telling you, for instance, take a district which is under control of Menzingen, which is the United States district. I tell people, just keep your eyes open. Don't leave your mass center. All your priests are good priests. And if necessary, you make a stand. But do not undermine any of your mass center and parishes and the good works of the United States Societies district. So we're going to ignore the ingratitude of the official authorities of the society to us, because overall we are grateful of what we have received in the Society of St. Pius X. The gift of all these gifts Because in the past, when a priest was leaving the society, we used to say, after the fair, the society gave this man everything. And now look at this priest. He is leaving the society.